All right, here's my professional video on how to do this. So this is, again, we're taking off just this little nub. That's all we're trying to take off right here. You need 2mm Allen key, pliers, and tiny little screwdriver. Screwdriver is just to pop the nub off, so really anything small will work, but the smaller screwdriver the better. So all you gotta do, flip the mag over, take off this screw right here. Set that aside. This base plate then slides right off. Set those aside. And now you can slide this whole portion off, just pulls right off. Okay, so now you will take your pliers and this whole plate pops right off. So all you'll do is you'll just grab it and then literally just kind of hold it in place, make sure it doesn't fly off because the follower spring is going to try to pop out. So you just pull this out. Yeah, like that. See, it tries to shoot off. But luckily it stays retained here. Now this part's a little tricky because it can kind of get stuck in here. So you kind of want to fish it out. Make sure you push this through all the way so it's not getting stuck on the actual BB holder, whatever you want to call it. Make sure it's not getting stuck right there, because if you do, you'll just keep pulling your spring out and it'll just be stuck. So start just fishing her out. Might get stuck in a couple points. It's not that big of a deal. I just have to keep gently working at it. Last time you can also take your screwdriver and kind of stick it in there and try to pull it down a little bit. Try not to stretch the spring too much. It's not the end of the world if you do, but you want to try not to. As best as you can. Come on. Make sure it's not stuck up there. Nope, it is not. I want to wiggle her out a little bit. All right, then pause the video here. All right, resuming the video. It got a little bit stuck in there, so your spring is a little bit out of whack. It's not that big of a deal. You can kind of just fold it up a little bit. And it'll go back into shape. See? There you go. It's going back into its shape. It's not that big of a deal. All right, set this aside. Now, this is where you'll take your little screwdriver. So all you want to do is just pop up. There we go. Let's take this right here and pop this guy off. Kind of stick your screwdriver in, and I'll just kind of wiggle your way in there and just pop it off, and the whole thing will just come right off like that. So the way this works is this is your main nub, follower nub. This is attached onto this pivot point here, and then this pivot point is attached to the spring here. So when they're all together, you can just willy-nilly move wherever you want, but we don't want that, so pop this off, and now you're good to go, and you can reinsert it. When you do, pay attention to what side is facing up. So this side's facing up, and you just want to follow that all the way back to the follower. If you get it in there wrong, it's not that big of a deal. You just have to fish it back out and just repeat the process. It's not that big of a deal. All right, part 3, hopefully the final one. Okay, so this is directional. You have a thicker side and a narrower side. You want the thicker side face down into the channel when you put it in. So I'll just slip it right in with the thicker side. You know it's the thicker side because there's a lot less play this way. If you flip it in the other way, there is a lot more play. So you put it in the thicker side down. And you kind of want to keep that follower straight as it goes through. And then you just push her down, and you'll just keep feeding it. Hopefully I got it in there the right way, which I do. Okay, so I'll just keep feeding her in. going, just keep going. At this point you should, yep, you can see it right there. Popping right out, there she is. So you can go ahead and fish the rest of your spring in. What I like to do is just kind of push the spring guide in a little bit to kind of hold on to the spring like that. And then what you'll do is this first side, while you're gripping the back of it, push it down in. And then from here, you can kind of pull up on the center, and then it'll just pop right back in. And now you're good. You kind of play with it a little bit just to make sure it's seated. You're good to go. That's back in there. Here's your follower, in, out, feeds great. And then putting it back together, you want this shoulder resting on this lower upper shoulder, mid shoulder, whatever you want to call it. Just slide on. Your base plate, your rounded side is going to be facing the front. The knobbed side, notched side is going to be facing the back. You can see it just goes right on like that. And then you toss your screw back on. Oh, there it is. And just get her nice and tight. It doesn't have to be super tight. It is plastic, remember. Tight enough, and boom, there you go. That is how you remove your spring guide. Oh, well, it fell on the ground. But that's how you remove your spring guide, and you're good to go. Feeds great.